Welcome to Ghouls Night Out with your hostesses, Brandy and Jody.
Hello, beautiful ghouls. Welcome. This is Brandy. I'm here with my sister Jody.
Hello.
So we are in Evansville, Indiana tonight. We just went on the Gray Lady ghost tour at the Evansville Library, the Willard Library, what did you think about it?
I thought it was cool.
I thought it was cool too. I kept getting chills, which I thought was cool. I didn't know why I kept getting chills. And, apart from a couple of obnoxious people that were in our group, it was really fun.
Yeah.
And interesting. I loved hearing the ghost stories there. We just need to come back at some point because the tour was surprisingly short.
Yeah, and there were so many people.
There were a lot of people there. Well, this was the last tour of the season, I guess.
Yeah.
So, and it was the latest time, so it was the last tour. So I bet they tried to fit as many people as they could in or something.
Yeah, and you couldn't really... You had to kind of hang back to be able to take any pictures or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Without getting other people in your shots.
We did get some pictures, so we'll post them, but I don't think we caught anything on there or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think we did.
We can post those on the Facebook page, and I'll go ahead and post the stories too, and maybe the website, because you can go on the website and see they have live cameras 24/7, so you can go and watch things that are going on in the library and see if you can catch anything. So I'll post on the Facebook page kind of an easier way to get to it or something. I'll try to anyway. But yeah, it was fun and a little road trip for us. So that's always fun.
The library was old and cool.
Heck yeah, it was. I mean, even for book readers like us, we just had fun going to the freaking library.
I just like the library.
Yeah, so it's very, very cool, and I'm so glad that we went. But we went ahead and stayed the night. So we are in the hotel room right now recording. Yeah, so they really just told the ghost stories that have happened, things that they've caught. They said that the lights would flicker on and off a lot, and they really have captured a lot of pictures in the library. And like I said, you can look on their website and see the apparitions that they've caught. But yeah, other than that, what else did they say went on? That the books would move.
They've had books fall off the shelves.
Right.
And fly across the room. Not just fall off.
Yeah.
They would fly out into the middle of the room.
I guess a lot of stuff is moving there.
Yeah. Lights have been turned, not just the flickering lights, but the desk lamps that you have to push on the cord.
Right.
Would turn on and off.
That's very cool. Chairs would be pulled out from the tables.
There's a little boy ghost that sits in a chair that's in a corner on the stairwell.
Right. Did you get any pictures on the stairwell?
Yeah.
Okay.
What else? Obviously, full body apparitions.
She said she would, the Gray Lady in particular will play with hair and jewelry, hanging earrings, something like that, which nothing happened. You said that you thought that you got, or what did you say?
I felt like I had stepped into, we were standing in this room, and on the wall there's these long desks that have computers on them with chairs pushed in. And we were standing along the back of that, right in front of the chairs.
Right.
And this girl next to me kept hitting my purse, so I kind of moved my purse out of the way, and I stepped back a little bit. And it felt like I stepped back into the chair. So I turned around and looked, and the chair was 3 or 4 inches away.
Yeah.
So that's not what I bumped into. But it was so subtle that I don't know if it was anything or not.
But again, you said that when we went to the cemetery,
I know,
and you got poked. So I don't know.
I don't know.
You never know. It's all good. But it was fun. I'm glad we did it, and I think we'll probably come back maybe next year, try it again.
Yeah, I want to go to the library during the day.
Yeah.
When it's open, so we can kind of explore a little bit, because
on our own.
Yeah, the only places that they took us to were, I think they were the main places where stuff has happened. And
right,
like we said, there were so many people around that you couldn't really explore, and you know.
Yeah, she said that there was a room that a lot of stuff had happened in, but we couldn't go into it because it was just a room and there were way too many of us.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely want to go just normal, during normal business hours and kind of just explore on our own time to see, literally just the different parts, because again, the tour itself was extremely short. So it's not like you could just kind of, meander around in the library and just kind of maybe take a picture here and there, or, just to see if you catch anything. So we're going to have to come back, I think.
Yeah.
So if you guys plan on coming down to Evansville, that's what we recommend, is to go during just normal business hours and just kind of walk around and see, just kind of explore it on your own. And then later on that night, you can go on the tour and just listen to the stories, because otherwise you're not going to have that opportunity to walk around the library. So,
yeah.
But it was fun.
Yes.
And I'm glad we went, and it was free, so I can't complain too much.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to our stories, I found a couple of stories this week which are pretty interesting, I guess. So, me, and my all-time favorite show ever is Friends.
Yes.
And I have most of the episodes memorized because I watched them over and over and over again. So, there in the UK, there is a video of a David Schwimmer lookalike that stole a case of beer. So it says, UK forces search for a Ross Geller lookalike. Thief must go after the real star cleared his name on social media. So officers in Blackpool shared a CCTV still of a man dubbed the spitting image of Friends actor David Schwimmer clutching a crate of beer. Schwimmer responded to jokes posted on the Blackpool police Facebook post with the photo of Wednesday. He wished the officers hunting the double luck with the investigation, and in the video posted, the star is seen glancing at the camera as he walks through the convenience store clutching the cans of beer. The accompanying post said, "Officers, I swear it wasn't me. As you can see, I was in New York." But if you look at this, and I'll post it on the Facebook page next week, but it looks almost exactly like him.
Wow.
And it's very weird. So I thought I'd bring that up. And speaking of doppelgangers, and I'm gonna have to look into it a little bit more. There is a website that you can go to, and I have it written down somewhere, but I just don't remember where. But you can go on this website and put in your facial features and like things about you and find your doppelganger.
Oh, really?
In the world. I don't know if they have to go on it too and post their shit.
Oh.
But like I said, I'll post more information about it on Facebook when I figure it out, because like I said, I wrote down the website somewhere. But I think that's very cool because people have literally found they're almost identical twins on this website.
That's interesting.
It is. So I wonder if there's someone that looks like me. Mm-hmm. There was this, I think it was an ad for, I don't know, it was like a classmate website where you could find your classmates, and they had like their ad for that website it looked like a bunch of old yearbook pictures of these people. Mm-hmm. And I swear one of the pictures looked exactly like me.
Oh, yeah?
Exactly. And I'm like we've talked before, people have been like, oh, you look like this girl or whatever. And I'm like, no, you're wrong. This girl really looked like me. I mean, she had like the pointy chin and everything. So It was weird. So another story that I came across, this is in California, and it says, have you ever joked about burning the house down when you find a big spider? Well, one man in California may have taken it a little too far.
Oh, no.
Literally, fire officials say that he used a blowtorch to douse a black widow spider in flames to kill. It says them, so I'm not sure how many black widow spiders there were. But yeah, he accidentally set the house on fire. On top of that, it wasn't his house, it was his parents' house.
Oh, no.
He was house sitting. More than 30 firefighters responded and were quickly able to put the fire out. But oh my gosh, talk about
How do you explain
freaking
that
out
to your parents? There was a spider, and I tried to kill it.
Oh my gosh, I'd be pissed. Another story I came across. A judge in Washington state recently took matters into his own hands, chasing after 2 inmates who tried to make a run for it during a recent court appearance. Judge R.W. Buzzard ripped off his robe and gave chase to the 2 young men who fled his courtroom. The inmates in handcuffs headed for the stairs, but the judge raced behind them and closed in as he chased them down. They tried to make a dash for the exit, but while one got away, the judge made a desperate lunge for the other and got him. He said, I kind of gave him a little shove as I was coming off the stairs to slow him down and just grabbed him and held him, he said. Authorities apprehended the other suspect a few blocks away, and now they're both charged with second-degree escape. Which,
funny.
I know, I think that's very cool that he was like, fuck you, you are not getting away. And this next story is a little sad, but I guess in Florida, 2 girls, a 6th and a 7th grader, ages 11 and 12, were arrested at Bartow Middle School on Tuesday after they brought weapons to the school and admitted to plotting an attack. They planned to kill over a dozen smaller children, eat their flesh, and drink their blood. They said they were worshiping Satan.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. So obviously they have no clue what worshiping Satan is about, because that's not it for sure. That's more like zombie treatment. But
Psychotic.
yeah, the school summoned extra police officers to deal with the threat. The 2 girls were found in the bathroom after one of the girls' mothers called the school in response to receiving a robocall alerting her that her daughter was not at school. So they hid, obviously, in the bathroom. And they ended up getting caught. They were found with weapons, including a pizza cutter and a butcher knife.
Pizza cutter. What?
They're 11 and 12. I mean, obviously, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I know, when you're a teenager, people will call you pizza face because of your acne, but I think that's going a little bit too far.
Well, I mean, they're like, this is a little sharp. Let's just take this. God.
So stupid.
I know, like, dudes, give your kids hugs. That's all they need.
Yeah.
That's all they fucking need is hugs and love, and they won't do shit like this. But yeah, they wanted to kill at least 15 people. It's just ridiculous.
Lovely.
And let's see, my last story that I have is fantastic. Well, kind of. There is a 150-year-old church in Wakefield, Massachusetts that was engulfed in flames on Tuesday after being struck by lightning during a storm. Remarkably, the one thing that survived the blaze was a large painting of Jesus. It was not touched at all. The fire was reported on Tuesday evening when members of the church were meeting inside. Everyone was evacuated, but it took hours and more than 100 firefighters to tame the flames. Because it destroyed that church.
And there was one picture that wasn't touched?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and you can see, and again, I'll try and remember to post pictures online because you can see them walking out of this completely burned down building with this picture that's not even touched at all.
That's cool.
Yeah, but people are bummed because it was a 150-year-old church.
Yeah,
it was
that
built,
sucks.
Yeah, it was built in 1872, and it was burned to the ground.
Oh.
So that is a total bummer. They started a GoFundMe page. So it's the First Baptist Church in
Did you say Massachusetts?
Wakefield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
So if you are so inclined and you would like to donate, they are going to probably rebuild, I would think. So you can look that up. But it says, we know that we serve God who specializes in restoring brokenness and who can bring beauty even from ashes. So we move into a future with trust, hope, and gratitude. So positivity. That's my new thing, is positivity. Because I need it. So yeah, those were my stories for the week. Again, it was a bunch of horrible shit, like murder, suicide right down the road from us, which creeped me out, in Fishers, Indiana. 2 teachers, which is a total bummer. But those were my stories for the week.
I went to Metamora last weekend.
That's right. Yeah, I finally get to hear what happened.
So, first of all, I feel really bad for the people of Metamora.
Why?
Because this little town, I guess back in the day, it used to be like a bunch of shops and, business was good
Yeah.
and all that. It's like a dying town now.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, there were a lot of shops that were closed. The ones that we went into or that were still open, there was a bunch of them that you walked in there and they just stunk.
Ooh, weird.
Amy thinks that they were they had a mold issue
Oh.
because she's allergic to mold.
Yeah.
and she said she could feel her throat starting to close up and stuff. And
Oh, that's a bummer.
there was this one that we went into. Oh my gosh, we literally walked in and walked right back out.
Oh, shit.
It stunk so bad, like animal,
Ooh.
like urine and feces,
Oh my
and
gosh.
it was just disgusting.
Oh, that's a bummer.
So yeah, this poor little town, it's on its way out.
Aw.
It's not good. But we went to the Museum of Oddities.
Right? Which you told us about. How'd it go?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you walk in. It's in the building. They're like little kind of like strip mall.
Okay.
So it's just this square room basically.
Okay.
So you walk in and it's got like this little bitty, I don't know, I guess maybe you'd call it a waiting room or something.
Okay.
And it's got this counter to your left and there's this guy standing there.
Uh-huh.
He's like, I guess he was an archaeologist.
Okay.
Okay. And he would sit there and he would tell you what you need to do because there's this curtain that goes the length of the room, which is what blocks off the museum part from the
Like the lobby, if
The
you
lobby,
will. Okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
and he told us that, he used to be an archaeologist and he went on these digs and stuff, and a lot of the stuff is what he found or whatever.
Did he say where he dug?
Just everywhere. I mean, everywhere.
Like around the world?
Amazon. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
everywhere. He had some cool stuff.
Uh-huh.
He was a dork.
Oh, no.
But, he's like trying to be like Indiana Jones and he just can't quite pull it off.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was a
no.
nice guy. He was a
Yeah.
nice guy. So what he told us was that it's totally dark. He's got the lights shut off back there, and he gave you a flashlight that you had to use.
Right.
And he was trying to tell us that the building was haunted and that people have seen, shadows and stuff like that.
In the dark?
I don't know. And, I don't know. Maybe it was. I didn't see anything.
Okay.
But so he just told you, walk in there, you got to read the little cards. Mm-hmm. It explains what everything is, So he said that he had a death mask of Herman Munster.
Okay.
Do you know what a death mask is?
Is that where they cast your face?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if it was really a cast of Herman Munster.
Was he claiming he's dug it up?
No.
Okay, he just has it.
He just has it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Have you ever looked up death masks before?
I don't know if I've looked them up, but I've seen stuff on them.
There's a list on Ranker. I look on Ranker all the time, Ranker.com, and they have several death masks on there, which is pretty cool to look at. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Winston Churchill and really, really old
Yeah.
people.
Well, this one, he had like a fake mummy, and he had the mask sitting on the mummy face.
Oh.
And when you walk through, his cards that had the information on them were handwritten. So it was really hard to read, especially in the dark.
What the fuck?
They
Use
were-
a computer.
I know. They were like, seriously, on index cards, handwritten.
Oh my gosh.
Some of the information was typed out and printed. It was so hokey. Oh my god. Okay,
no.
so there was okay, I will tell you this one thing though. There was a section that was about voodoo dolls,
Oh yeah.
and in the back it was like he kind of made halls with curtains.
Yeah.
And there was this hall, and it had like voodoo dolls and stuff in it. And in the very back, there was this crate, and it had the little card. And I didn't really read it,
Yeah.
At that point, I was like, whatever. I opened this little crate and immediately shut it.
Oh.
It was the creepiest doll I had ever seen
Oh
in
my
my
gosh.
life.
Ew.
I didn't even want to look at it.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it was, and you know me,
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
bothers me. And I opened that, and I let it fall shut.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh my God. It was this doll. It was about 3 feet long. So it was a big doll.
Yeah.
And it was the face. It was just, it had, the lips were sewn shut.
Oh
the
my
eyes were
gosh.
sewn shut.
Ooh.
And it was horrifying.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
horrifying.
Well, that's creepy.
That was the worst thing I saw there.
Yeah.
Why
was it in a crate?
I don't know.
Do you think it was the scare factor?
I think so. I think there was a few things that you had to open something to look at it.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
That is creepy. I mean,
It
that's
was
kinda-
definitely creepy, and I'd never want to see it again.
Oh my gosh.
Ever.
That's creepy.
And he had shrunken heads.
Like real shrunken heads?
He says they're real.
Oh my gosh.
And it was so funny because Amy was so confused.
What do you mean?
She has never heard of shrunken heads before.
What? How is that? She's seen Beetlejuice. Come on.
Probably not. She's not a
Oh,
movie
that's right.
person.
That's right.
But
oh my gosh. If
she-
she hasn't seen Beetlejuice, she is missing out.
I know.
Big time.
But she didn't think they were real.
Okay.
I said, no, there are real shrunken heads.
Yeah.
They looked real.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know what a shrunken head is, they're severed heads that they're specially prepared.
Right.
I'm not sure how.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you watch Oddities, which we talked about last week, in one of the episodes on season 5 that I just watched, there was a guy specifically looking for a shrunken head, but they are extremely expensive because, like you said, there's a big long process that you have to go through to get it to be a shrunken head.
Yeah.
So he creates one for this client. However, they use a sloth head. So I guess sloths' heads are, one, easier to do than human heads, but they're basically the same process.
Okay.
So he shows you the process on Oddities. So if you
really?
actually, yeah,
I'm going to watch that.
if you want to see the process, they do it on.
But I get the reason that the only documented shrunken heads that they've found are in the Amazon.
Wow.
They can't prove for a fact
Yeah.
that anyone else has ever done this before. And they're used for trophies and rituals or even trade purposes.
Wow.
They trade them. And a lot of times the tribe leaders would show off the heads to
Yeah.
scare their enemies.
Yeah, I think that's what the main reason for doing it was. What the fuck?
I don't know.
She's pulling stuff out of her pants.
Well, they're new pants. I don't know what the... Anyway, he had a so-called haunted step.
Huh?
Okay, so in this other part, you walk down this hall, and at the end of the hall, there's steps.
Okay, like a staircase?
Yeah,
Okay.
a staircase. And the 6th step was supposedly haunted.
What?
So he has the steps marked 1, 2.
Is it
3,
handwritten?
Actually, no. 4, 5, and then you put 666.
Oh my god.
So we walk up to the 6th step and we sit on it. And Amy's like, "Do you feel anything?" I'm like, "Nope."
Feel something hard under my ass.
All right, let's go. It was so corny. Oh my gosh.
Oh, well, that's kind of sucky.
We still had fun.
Absolutely.
But-
I would go just to see the shrunken heads.
Yeah,
that's
he had a couple of them.
That's cool.
Yeah. And, it's been a long time since I've seen anything on shrunken heads. So I Googled them because I wanted to see what they look like, and they
Yeah.
looked exactly like what he had.
Oh my gosh, that's creepy.
Yeah, where they like sew their eyes
Yeah.
and their mouths.
Yeah. I mean, there's a shrunken head hanging on the bus in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
How does she not know?
I don't think she's ever seen Harry Potter either.
Good Lord, where's she been?
I
Under a
don't know,
rock?
but I'll tell you what, she sure does like her Medea.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, let's just stop this because I'm going to end up saying something about your friend. Because I'm just going to shut up.
Yeah, let's
because
just move
I hate those fucking dumbass movies. That's all I'm going to say.
I haven't even seen any of them.
The only reason that I have ever seen it is because Tyrion happens to like them.
Oh.
She's 10. So she thinks they're funny and scary.
Oh.
And I think she's only seen the
Boo.
Halloween,
Yeah.
the Halloween ones. But oh my gosh, I had to take I mean I didn't have to, but we went to the movies to see, I think it was the Boo 2 last year at Halloween time. Oh my good Lord. I could barely sit through that thing.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Horrible. I think you've told me that before too, and she's got the worst taste in movies.
Yeah.
The worst. So I remember now.
She hasn't even seen any of the classics like Star Wars or...
I can't get into Star Wars. I know I'm probably going to be persecuted for that one, but
I like the first 3 and that's it.
yeah, I just can't.
With Harrison Ford, he's a hottie.
Yeah, I can see that. I'd rather watch Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, I've seen those a million times too.
Yeah, I love the Indiana Jones. I am a total movie freak.
I know, me too.
But yeah, there's certain things, and Star Wars is one of them that I'm just like, no, I can't do it. But oh my gosh, yeah, don't get me started on shitty movies because. Anyway, so was that it?
Yeah.
Well,
that
that's
was our
fun.
trip to Metamora.
That's really sad though that it's like a dying thing because it used to be huge.
She wanted
right?
some ice cream. They had a couple ice cream shops, and you know, when you go to those kinds of places, it's usually ice cream that's like really good. Like you can't find it anywhere else.
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
absolutely, like homemade.
We walk in, she wants some. I'm like, Amy, it says on the door it's Dean's ice cream. She's like, oh, I can get that at the store. So we walked back out. It was just, you know, that poor town. I felt so bad for it. But there was this one shop, though. It was the wood shop.
Oh yeah,
And he had all kinds of cool stuff.
that's cool.
I wanted it really bad. But
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it was just, like I told you, the only thing I bought was 2 cans of instant cappuccino.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a bummer. Oh well, at least you got out and did something new. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Just like with our ghost tour. I was a little bit disappointed just because it's a little short and just too many people.
It was way too packed.
But
I mean, it was hard enough to move around.
it was hard to move around, and it seemed like she was having difficulty with her microphone.
Yeah, sometimes it was hard to hear.
Yeah, sometimes I could hear her like she was too loud, and then
Yeah.
sometimes I couldn't hear her at all. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just different. Like I said, like you said, I'd rather go just during the normal business hours and just walk around
Yeah,
by ourselves. Because we could have probably looked up those stories online or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but I still had fun.
Oh, absolutely. I'm totally glad that we went.
Yeah.
And we might even go again next year or, a year. But all right. So what'd you do this week for your stories?
I did haunted cemeteries.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So it's a list. So these are the 11 top haunted cemeteries in the United States.
Awesome.
So number 11 is Westminster Hall and Burial Ground, Baltimore, MD.
Maryland.
Okay. The cemetery at Westminster Presbyterian Church in Baltimore, Maryland, is apparently the home of the Screaming Skull. The legend states that a minister was murdered here, and every night at the same time his skull would start screaming. Eventually, his body was dug up and the skull gagged
What?
before encased in a concrete block that now stands by his gravestone.
Ooh.
According to locals, it is still possible to hear the muffled screaming on still nights. Edgar Allan Poe is also buried here, but he seems to be at rest.
What the fuck?
So they took his skull and gagged it. And then put it in a cement block. That's crazy.
Why wouldn't it die?
I don't know.
That's creepy.
I don't know. Number 10, Union Cemetery in Easton, Connecticut. Union Cemetery in Easton, Connecticut dates back to the 1600s, so it is not difficult to imagine that it is haunted. In fact, the cemetery is known locally as White Lady Cemetery, after its most prevalent ghost. This lady in white is said to roam the cemetery at night and will sometimes venture beyond its gates and onto the road. Several drivers have reported actually hitting her with their vehicle, only for her to promptly disappear.
Oh my gosh.
She is apparently not alone in haunting Union Cemetery, as there have also been reports of glowing red eyes peering at them from out of the darkest corners.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yes. Number 9, Bonaventure Cemetery, Savannah, Georgia. Savannah is one city that is incredibly proud of its ghosts, so it is only to be expected that they have their own haunted cemetery, complete with a chilling tale to tell. The most famous that is said to be roaming Bonaventure Cemetery in Savannah is Garcia Watson, a little girl who died of pneumonia at the age of just 6 years old. Not only has little Gracie been spotted playing between the tombstones, but the statue of her by her grave has also been known to cry tears of blood on occasion.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Now, number 8, I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Resurrection Cemetery in Justice, Illinois. Resurrection Cemetery in Justice, Illinois is an incredibly creepy place to be. Even the name conjures up spooky ideas. The most famous haunting here relates to a spirit known as Resurrection Mary.
Yeah.
Mary was apparently a young girl who was killed in a hit-and-run accident sometime in the 1930s. Witnesses say that she can now be seen walking the same street where she was killed, and that she sometimes hitches a ride back to the cemetery with young male drivers who are shocked when she vanishes from their car as they near the cemetery gates.
I believe you've told that story before.
I have. Number 7 is Howard Street Cemetery in Salem, Massachusetts. Salem, Massachusetts, Salem, Massachusetts is famous for one thing, the witch trials.
Yeah.
In the late 1600s, speculation was rife about who was and who wasn't practicing dark magic. One of those accused was a wealthy farmer named Giles Corey. He was accused... Is that Giles or Giles? No, it's Giles, I think.
I don't know.
He was accused of being a warlock and was tortured to death during his so-called trial. Corey is apparently still seeking revenge for his untimely death and is said to haunt Howard Street Cemetery in the surrounding area. This would actually make perfect sense given the fact that he is not only buried here in Howard Street Cemetery, but it was also the spot where he died as a result of pressing. He is believed to specifically target sheriff's officers, perhaps as they are the closest thing to the witch finders that we have today. Corey's ghost has also come to be a harbinger of tragedy. Whenever his ghost is seen around town, it is usually directly before something tragic occurs.
Which that totally makes sense that they would be haunting that area because they were tortured for no reason.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I totally get that.
And it seems to be people that just had like some kind of grudge against somebody, so they're going to say that they're a witch.
Yeah, exactly. And they didn't look for evidence or anything at all.
No,
so it was
they
just-
didn't care.
Yeah.
They didn't care. Number 6, Hollywood Forever, Los Angeles, California. Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Los Angeles is registered on the National Register of Historic Places. There are plenty of deceased stars who calls this place their final resting place, and it even shares a wall with Paramount Studios. Among the famous faces that are still roaming around is Rudolph Valentino. His ghost has been seen wandering around the area looking every bit as handsome as he did prior to his unexpected death in 1926. Every year, a mysterious lady in black visited his grave on the anniversary of his death. It is said that she still visits now, albeit in spirit form.
Ooh, weird.
Other Hollywood stars buried here who are not yet ready to leave the spotlight include Clifton Webb, who starred in the Mr. Belvedere films and has been seen frequently wandering around the graveyard. Did you used to watch Mr. Belvedere?
No.
I love that show.
I mean, I watched maybe a couple of them, but I was really young.
Yeah.
I don't really
I
remember.
love that show. I don't remember anything about it now, but number 5, Silver Cliff Cemetery, Silver Cliff, Colorado. Another one of the most haunted cemeteries in America is said to be Silver Cliff Cemetery in Colorado. However, it is not a ghostly apparition that this place is famous for, but rather the Silver Cliff lights. These ghost lights are described as looking like blue lantern lights or bright white spheres. They appear over the cemetery gates at night and then float through the burial ground, bouncing off the tombstones. There has never been any cause for the lights established, and most locals agree that they are paranormal in nature. The cemetery is still used today and is owned and operated by the town.
That's crazy. That'd be creepy to see.
Yeah, I wonder what they are.
I don't know. I see lights all the time.
Do you?
All the time. Like I went to a antique shop the other day and I saw like a light zip by me. And the other day when I was telling you, I looked in the living room that was completely dark and there was a bright flashing light in the reflection of the fireplace.
Yeah.
Still have no clue what that was.
I can't think of anything over there that would be flashing.
No, the only thing that my laptop was on the coffee table, but it was facing, like the screen was facing the opposite way, so it wasn't on the screen.
There isn't a light on the back of the...
No. I have no clue. It was like this bright flashing light that I saw in the reflection. It's just weird.
It is weird.
I wonder if that's like the easiest form for ghosts to
It might be.
show that they're there.
Might be what orbs are.
Oh yeah, that's...
Real orbs, not dust.
Or bugs.
Or bugs. That was funny. What are those things called? The spheres that people would catch on camera or whatever.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And it was proved that they were
It's
actually
totally
bugs.
Yeah, it's the shutter speed.
Rods.
Yes, yeah, it's the shutter speed.
Yeah.
That's fact or faked.
Yes.
Love that show.
I know. I'm so sad that it's
Best.
gone.
I know, me too.
All right, number 4 is Stoll Cemetery in Kansas, Missouri.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think.
Stoll Cemetery in Kansas is considered by many to serve as one of the gates to hell. There have been ghost stories linked to this place for hundreds of years. One of the focal points for the haunting seems to be an abandoned church that stands right next to the graveyard. Many people have had strange experiences when entering the church, including being grabbed by unseen hands. On one occasion, the Pope himself refused to fly over what he called a demonic piece of land.
What?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Local legend suggests that this has always been an evil place and that the church was constructed in an attempt to cover the gateway. However, after the church closed, it became a meeting point for witches and Satanists to gather and hold rituals. There are also rumors that witches were hanged in the trees within the church's ground in the past. There is one tree in particular which is now growing through a tombstone, which is also said to be a focal point for paranormal activity.
Holy shit. It is so scary to think of what happened on land before we were even thought of.
Yeah, and why is the Pope refusing? That to me is crazy.
I know.
It's like, what does he
know?
Feel or see?
Yeah.
Or,
Does he know something that we don't know?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's creepy.
That is. Number 3 is St. Louis Cemetery in New Orleans, Louisiana. Anyone who knows anything about New Orleans knows that you can barely take a step without running into something with a paranormal twist to it. St. Louis Cemetery is known to be incredibly haunted, and most believe that much of the activity reported here can be attributed to the fact that notorious voodoo queen Marie Laveau is one of the 100,000 people buried there. Regarded by many as the most haunted place in New Orleans, hundreds of people visit her grave each year to ask for a wish to be granted. I went to a cemetery in New Orleans. We couldn't get in, though. It was closed.
Oh.
But kind of walked around the perimeter
Yeah.
or whatever. Those are so cool looking. The cemeteries in New Orleans.
I've never been there.
Oh. Well, they're all above ground.
mausoleums.
Yeah.
I've seen them on TV,
Yeah.
which they look cool, but
Yeah. Number 2 is Boot Hill in Tombstone, Arizona. This cemetery in Tombstone, Arizona has become to be known simply as Boot Hill. The burial ground is certainly not well cared for, and the strange overgrown look about the place only seems to add to the spooky reputation that it has. Those who have dared to go exploring Boot Hill have described seeing very unfriendly spirits around the place. It is believed that many of those buried here have links to the gunfight at the OK Corral involving the Earp brothers, Doc Holliday, and the Clanton gang. That's cool.
yeah.
And number 1 is Bachelor's Grove Cemetery in Bremen, Illinois. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery in Illinois is not only considered to be one of the most haunted cemeteries in America, but some would go so far as to say that it is one of the most haunted places in the entire world.
Whoa.
The burial ground is tucked away in the middle of the creepy forest and looks spooky enough based only on its appearance. However, once you get into the ghostly tales that are connected to this place, you soon begin to realize that there are even more reasons why this cemetery creeps you out. It once used to be a dumping ground for 1930s gangsters to leave their victims, and some of them have been seen wandering around the cemetery. Many visitors have reported seeing unexplained things during visits to the cemetery, with one of the most common sightings being a ghostly woman who sits on the tombstones.
Very cool. Wonder how close that is to us.
I don't know, but I've heard of that cemetery before. That sounds really familiar. Bachelor's Grove?
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
For some reason, that sounds familiar.
Interesting. Well, very cool. Cemeteries are creepy. I mean, obviously, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. All right, so I just did some ghost stories this week because this is our Halloween episode, and I just wanted to stay spooky. So, first one is I'm a mental health therapist. One of my schizophrenic clients said he was seeing a girl in his room and said she was talking to him. We believed it was a hallucination as he was living alone. The doctor I was scheduled with decided to challenge his delusion and had him take a picture of her the next time so we could meet her. During the next visit, he brought a picture, and yes, there she was.
Oh my god.
To our astonishment and horror, there was a picture of him on the couch with a strange, creepy, ghost-like image of a girl hovering behind him, shrouding him in white-like wings or hair, very light in color, a subtle, shimmering image. What was eerie was seeing him sitting on the couch with his head down, very depressed looking, and she was literally haunting him. All of our jaws hit the floor, and you could hear a pin drop. Everyone examined the picture, and we could tell it was real. Dude was very low functioning and could not have shopped it. Shit got real. We were haunted. The doctor, in utter amazement, knew medication wouldn't treat this, and said, "I can't help you with this. You are going to need to see a clergy."
Wow. That gave me chills.
I know. I mean, could you imagine? I bet they were like, okay,
Yeah.
you take a picture.
He's like, all right, I will.
You're like, well, okay, I'll take a picture, sure. And they were like, holy shit. Next one, I was visiting my sister at college, and she sent me to the theater to get some stuff for her. It was after dark and the building was locked. She lent me her keys. Now she told me that the place had a reputation for being haunted, but being the skeptic that I am, I took the keys and hustled off without a second thought. I let myself in and headed to the closet. She said her stuff was in, and someone walked up behind me. No kidding, I could hear the footsteps, feel the floorboards move, and hear them creak. I could even hear the rustle of fabric moving, and there was just that undefinable sense that there was someone else there. You know how you can tell when someone walked in the room and you didn't even really see or hear them? Well, yeah, I turned around expecting to have to explain myself why I was in a locked building after hours, and there was no one there. After I shat myself, I started singing at the top of my lungs to mask the now ominous silence. I grabbed my sister's stuff and bolted out of the building. She apologized for days, and I never went back to that building alone again.
Ugh. There is
Gosh.
that feeling, though.
Yeah.
When someone is there. There's like a
Yeah, you can tell.
disturbance in the air or something.
Yeah, you definitely get a feeling when there's someone else in the room.
Yeah.
And when there's no one else there, you still feel it. Ew, that's creepy.
Yeah.
So next one, when I was about 13 or 14, I lived in a normal house in a suburban neighborhood with my family. We were told by the previous tenant that there was a husband that had died in the house, but we weren't told specifically where. One night after I turned off the lights to go to sleep, I heard a loud rustling noise and then a bang that caused me to jump and turn the lights on. Everyone in the house heard it and ran into the hallway to see if I was okay. As I looked into the room to see what the noise was, I saw my jewelry box, which had a set of doors on the front which latched shut, fully open, with all the drawers hanging open. I threw that thing in the closet so quick and never pulled it out again to use it.
And I wouldn't leave it in the closet. I
know, I would totally get rid of it.
Because then I wouldn't be able to go in my closet anymore.
I still heard things in that house. One night I was watching something funny on TV in my room and I heard a man, seemingly sitting right next to me, laugh in my ear, as clear as day, and it wasn't from the TV. Ugh. That was it for that one. So this is a scary, next one. This is the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. Most people I try to tell this to come up with a logical explanation, but there is none. So after living in my new house for about 5 months or so, I decided to take a shower. One of my friends had just slept over and had taken a crap ton of showers in that bathroom already, so it's not like it was anything new. So I take my shower and get out and dry off and look at the steamed up mirror. On the mirror, in perfect writing, no human could do with their finger, read something along the lines of, "Dear Father, please forgive me."
Ooh.
I completely forget the rest because I was so freaked out, but it was terrifying. The bathroom door was locked the entire time and no one could have gotten in. It was also had never been there any other time I took a shower, so no idea what the fuck that was, but it scared the shit out of me. But I mean, if you write something on the mirror, it's going to show up every time.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I guess there could be an explanation for that. But
Someone could be messing with them.
yeah, it's still creepy. I would
is.
still be creeped out, but I would totally, that, again, you don't immediately go to ghost. At
Yeah.
least I don't. I would be
No, you don't.
yeah. So, next one, my first apartment during college was haunted. I had a really long hallway that led from my room to the front door. At night, I would often hear footsteps echoing in that hallway when my roommate wasn't home. My dog would hear it too and just start barking and looking out in the hallway as if he saw someone there. One night while I was studying, I noticed a sign I had hanging on my doorknob start swinging back and forth. No windows were open, the AC wasn't on, and there was no reason for it to be moving. I said, "Stop," and it promptly stopped swinging.
Yeah, that's even worse.
I know. A few months later, I found out from the landlord that a few years prior, a tenant had hung himself in the basement. Maybe it was him. Oh my gosh, could you imagine finding out someone killed themselves in your house after you bought it?
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh, that would
I'd
be
be
horrible.
pissed.
Yeah. Which, they don't have to tell you
No.
unless you ask.
No, they don't.
So always ask if anything creepy's happened in your house before you buy it. So next one, when I was 12 years old, I had a dream shortly before Halloween. In the dream, I was out trick-or-treating on Halloween night. I was in this overgrown woodsy area in my neighborhood, running away from a house a couple blocks away from where I lived. I realized that I was running from the ghost of a woman when I saw her come flying toward me. I woke up in a cold sweat, and that December I found out that the house that I had been running from in the dream belonged to an older woman. She lived alone and didn't have any family in the area. A friend of my mother's was delivering Christmas cookies and found her dead in the house.
Oh, no.
I know, that was sad. They estimated that she had been there since about August. I don't actually believe in ghosts, but this was very strange.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's creepy. And this is my last one. I am an atheist that does believe in ghosts. I believe in souls, and I think souls need to be put to rest, either by saying a final goodbye or in some cases sticking around until the soul finds peace with itself. I don't really have any crazy stories, but when I was with my ex, we went on vacation for a few days. While we were driving back home, I had this weird thought pop into my head, and for reasons neither of us know, I asked him when the last time he saw his grandfather was, and had mentioned that he should probably go see him soon. I had never met his grandfather, and we had never really talked about him. About 5 minutes after that, he got a call from his mom telling him that his grandfather had passed away. My hypnosis... My hypothesis.
Hypnosis, hypothesis, whatever.
I'm tired.
It is very late. Past
It really
our bedtime.
is. It's way past our bedtime. Anyway, my hypothesis is that his grandfather's spirit was trying to say goodbye to him, but since I've always been a little bit more open to that kind of stuff, he was better able to communicate with me. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But those are my stories for the week.
Okay. Well, I guess it's time for the witty wrap up.
Yay, whatever.
I found Butterball hotline calls.
I'm so excited.
I was like, I didn't know that even was a thing.
I know, but if you think about it, maybe everybody has a call center or something.
They might. Well, you know
customer
what?
number.
I think they do. I guess if you look on the packaging or whatever.
Yeah, it always
they
says for
do.
customer service.
Yeah. Okay. First one. A father in charge of thawing the turkey and bathing his toddler twins decided to hit two birds with one stone.
No.
We could hear water splashing in the background, and turns out he has his kids and the turkey in the tub all at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
The man was calling to find out if the bath water would be an acceptable method for thawing the turkey.
After he had already put it in. Oh my God. Where was the mother?
She obviously was not there.
Oh, poor thing. Was probably having a night out with her friends. She just wanted a glass of wine.
Could you imagine? How'd you thaw the turkey?
I gave it a bath. Or her kids' version of the story when she got back.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's hilarious.
All right. After discovering a turkey from 1969 in his dad's freezer, an Alabama man called the Butterball Hotline to ask about the best way to cook the 30-plus-year-old bird.
No, ew.
Although the talk line staffer recommended the open roasting pan method to cook most turkeys, this time she suggested that the first step was to purchase a fresher fowl. The same gentleman also had in his freezer the top of his wedding cake, a snowball from every snowstorm he'd experienced in Alabama.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
1969. That was before I was born.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
One woman called the talk line from a closet so her family couldn't hear her. Can you hear me? I've never cooked a turkey and my mother-in-law is convinced I can't cook. And I can't cook, but I want to do it, she whispered. The expert walked her through all the steps, advising against basting the turkey, even though the mother-in-law insisted.
Why the fuck would she wait till everyone was there
I
before she
know.
decided to? And that's like, yeah, that's like 101. You can't start it when everyone's there.
Usually the Kirky. The turkey is already done by the time everyone gets
or at
there.
least almost done.
Yeah.
Like you've been cooking it
So
all
it takes
day.
forever.
Yeah.
A woman in her 70s cooking Thanksgiving dinner for the first time
Whoa.
called for help because her mother said she was tired of cooking and it was time her daughter learned how to prepare the Thanksgiving meal. 70-something.
I can imagine the mother being like, okay, I'm 95. I can't do this
I'm
anymore.
not cooking another damn turkey.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Another gentleman called to tell the operator he cut his turkey in half with a chainsaw and wanted to know if the oil from the chain would adversely affect the turkey.
Oh my God. Yes.
Why would you cut the chain? Oh my gosh.
Oh, could you just imagine the people on the other end of those phones?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
A disappointed woman called wondering why her turkey had no breast meat. After a conversation with a talk line operator, it became apparent that the woman's turkey was lying on the table upside down.
I knew it. I knew it. How could you? Oh my gosh. How stupid could you be?
A new bride cooking Thanksgiving dinner for the first time in a small apartment-sized oven wanted to make sure her turkey wouldn't expand during cooking as baked goods do, and thus get stuck in the oven.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. Oh, honey.
I hope she was pretty. A lady from Colorado called about how to thaw her frozen butterball. She proudly shared the fact that her turkey was stored in a snowbank outside. It had snowed the night before, and then it dawned on her that she didn't have a clue which snowbank her turkey was in. At that point, the conversation was really over because she was now on a mission to go find her turkey.
Oh, that's funny.
One caller had always cut the legs off the turkey before putting it in the oven, thinking that was how you had to cook a turkey. She later learned that the only reason her mom had been doing that was because their oven was so small that was the only way to get the bird into the oven.
Oh my gosh. What the fuck? Aw.
A first-time Thanksgiving chef called Marge Clendera, a 20-plus year Talkline veteran, in tears one Thanksgiving morning. She was so proud to have thawed the turkey successfully and continued to rinse the turkey with dish soap.
What?
The tears started flowing when the turkey wouldn't stop sudsing. If only she called before she had found out you don't have to rinse the turkey. Just pat it dry with paper towels.
And don't fucking put soap on it. Ew. That's so gross. What the fuck? I mean, come on, people.
A proud gentleman called to tell the staff how he wrapped his turkey in a towel and stomped on it several times, breaking the bones so it would fit into his pan.
Oh my gosh. Ew.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
And my last one. When a Talkline staffer asked a caller what state her turkey was in, meaning how thawed was it, the caller responded with, Florida.
Oh, I should have known. That's so great.
That's all I got.
Okay, well, guys, thank you so much. This was our official Halloween episode.
Woo, Halloween.
So happy Halloween. We wish you all very safe and happy Halloween. You guys stay safe while you're trick-or-treating with your kiddos. And thank you again for listening. Look us up on Facebook. You can find us on anywhere that you can listen to podcasts. So we will talk to you next week.
Later.
Bye. Oh, wait.
What?
They need to email us their stories.
Yes.
Email us your stories.
As always.
Ghouls Night Out Podcast@gmail.com.
Please.
Okay, now for real.
All right, later.
Talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.